that the Taliban is now in possession of advanced weaponry system. And we're back, Mike Cernovich, rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com. Here to bring you, it's been a couple busy days, but right now, breaking news. I of course covered this yesterday, where I reported yesterday, Taliban now has. I'm reading from my computer here, from my phone, because I'm figuring out this new camera. I'm trying to get them MySpace camera angles. But anyway, yesterday I reported the Taliban now has Javelin missiles as well as the operating system for advanced military vehicles like Strikers. Also an F-15 flight simulator. So the AP is now reporting that the Taliban's sudden accumulation of U.S. supplied Afghan weapons is enormous. So in other words, I was right. As usual, if you follow Mike Cernovich, you have the news before everyone else. And, is it good news? Not really, but I just try to bring you the truth about everything, about all subjects, but while also focusing on the principles, right? So today's been a funny day because I've been explaining to people how, as much as you want to blame the generals, and you should blame the generals, that you got to blame the CIA too. Then people go, oh, you can't blame the CIA. It's the DIA and DOD. Look, man, let's just be real here, okay? Let's just be real. I broke the Susan Rice unmasking scandal. I was the only person who reported about the person whose name that can't even be said, and don't type it or I'll block you. So don't mansplain to me how the DIA works, how the CIA works. Don't, because you don't know anything. You just know what you read somewhere. Oh, I read it. I've reported the biggest stories in national security. Mueller's team tried to frame me for mishandling classified information. I reported that at the time, and Technofog, a legal reporter, wrote about it later. So you're talking to someone who broke the Susan Rice unmasking scandal, had the whole story about the whistleblower and all that stuff with Trump. Mueller tried to frame me. H.R. McMaster, when he was a national security advisor, held meetings about me. This is all, by the way, was reported. This was all reported. This isn't me saying, the National Security Advisor of the United States of America held meetings about Mike Cernovich. This is true. You can read it. What they did was a dirty trick. So here, by the way, this is amazing. Let me explain something to you. Maybe I'll clip this separately to explain how the deep state works in conjunction with the corporate media establishment. Because a lot of you are new here. You didn't see this happen. And when it happened at the time, I didn't really explain it to people maybe with the level of granularity I could have. So in, 2017, I'm breaking big national security stories. Because they were true, the media couldn't fact check them, right? So what did they do? Then what happened is Foreign Policy wrote an article claiming that I was harassing humble civil servants. I kid you not. You can find these articles contemporaneously at the time. If I were a more talented video editor, I would video edit the articles as I'm talking about them. That would be the right way to do these clips. So here's what happens. I report all these big national security stories. Then the deep state, in conjunction with Foreign Policy and other outlets, write articles saying Mike Cernovich, notorious troll, is harassing civil servants. And you're like, wait a minute. So when it first happened to me, it was a Kafka moment. It was a moment that didn't make any sense. Wait, hold on a second. Let me understand what you're saying here. Your claim is that I harassed CIA analysts because I reported about what they were doing. But that's how it works. So they target you in many, many ways, and that's how they work together. It's the revolving door, the iron triangle, so to speak. The media will come after you at the behest of the CIA, right? Right? That's how it works. That's how the game really works. Someone says, dude, are you going to talk about yourself? I'm going to block you is what I'm going to do, right? I always love those. Some mediocre loser, never done anything in his life, hops in. Oh, you talk about what No, I'm not going to talk about what you want to talk about. Right? I'm going to talk about whatever's on my heart and whatever on my mind. Maybe that'll be the title, although I did already talk about it. I talked about it. Go rewind the video, because I literally just talked about it. You want me to keep repeating myself? Oh, breaking news. Right? They have all this stuff. So a lot of you who watch me are mediocre, and you can't follow bigger, broader principles about how all this works. So people, again, are trying to say, oh, the CIA wasn't involved in Afghanistan. The CIA only handles domestic. Are you kidding me? The CIA only handles domestic stuff. Would you read that in some little book somewhere? Would you read that on a little website? Oh, yeah, the website I read told me that CIA is domestic or international or not Afghanistan, or it's this. No, it's not domestic. That's the FBI's domestic. Scrambled brains. They all work in cahoots. They literally all work together, right? They literally all work together. Some of them go on secondment. So, for example, the National Security Council will contain people from the CIA who work there on secondment. You don't even know how this works. You don't even know how these agencies work, right? People go, oh, it was the DIA and DOD. Right. So the CIA is not involved in that. Great. Delta Force, right? You probably read a book about Delta Force one time. Don't you write, oh, when I was reading a book on Delta Force, you don't know anything. I have sources. I actually break news. Right? I actually break news. I actually tell you how the world really works. And part of understanding how the world works is knowing how the deep state will use its media operatives to target truth-telling Americans like me. Again, go read all my old national security articles. Foreign policy didn't say I made it up. Right? Because I would have sued them if they said that. They didn't say it because they were all true. Instead, what they said is, Mike Cernovich is mean. Mean Mike Cernovich is bullying CIA agents and analysts. You can go find the articles. Google foreign policy, Mike Cernovich, civil servant. You can find all this stuff. And it's important for people to understand how the world really works and why it's so hard to get reliable news and information, because they target you. That's what they did. That's why they put a target on my back. Mueller tried to frame me. They mishandling classified information. I never mishandled any classified information, but they tried that angle, right? In cahoots with the media. And I remember when I learned about this story. This is actually a good story. A lot of people don't know this story. A lot of people don't know this. So when I got word that Mueller was investigating my journalism, I happened to be in D.C., and I just told everyone. And it was during CPAC. So this would have been either 18 or 19. I happened to be in town at CPAC when I got word, because what they did was Mueller leaked it to someone who doesn't like me, because they were going to write this big story and try to turn it into something. And I just told every reporter, oh, did you hear Mueller's investigating me for my journalism? You hear about that one yet? They were like, yeah, we kind of did. I was like, okay. And I just told everybody. And then it was so ridiculous, literally so ridiculous, that Team Mueller said, we're going to be the laughingstock of D.C. We have to try to find someone else. So they went through my life with a fine-tooth comb, tried to frame me for all kinds of things. And sorry, guys, I live a pretty not boring. I live a life full of love. But my life is generally wake up, get a coffee, maybe smoke a cigar, hang out with my daughters either before the cigar or after the cigar. It's be online, tracked all the time, right? You don't have an hour of unaccounted time for me for probably 20 years. Because I always log in just to make sure. Here I am. Now, they could go in with the geolocation, but they would have to really do some backdoor stuff, right? They would have to go in to Google's, they would really have to do some backdoor stuff. But that's what they do. That's how they target people. And then people go, why aren't there more truth tellers? Would you want to have your whole life, potentially destroyed? That's how they send a message. Like, they keep attacking. That's what they did to me, because they didn't like that I was telling the truth about what was happening within the CIA. So they'll probably do it again now, because they're really mad, because a lot of dumb people are like, oh, wait, I thought the DIA handled it. Yeah, okay. Do you even know what secondment means? You know what that? I remember this guy. He got banned. Thomas Wichter was his name, and he got banned. He was unstable character, that's for sure. But he claimed that my reporting on the NSC was wrong because one of the people I mentioned was a CIA analyst. And he was like, the NSC isn't the CIA. And I said, well, do you know what secundament is? And he didn't. That's where a little bit of knowledge can lead you down the wrong path. Because if you're saying, well, the GIA does this, CIA does that, also there's no overlap with the CIA, right? But then meanwhile, when the White House posted a picture from the Doha station, right? you think that the CIA isn't everywhere, right? The tentacles aren't everywhere, but it's strictly the DIA. It can't be the CIA. That's where a little bit of knowledge, makes you feel like you know something, but there's always it can take you down a bad path because you have to have a lot of knowledge to really understand these things. It's there's a lot to it, man. That's for sure. There is a lot to it, much more than whatever's on the websites. So the CIA has unfortunately not gotten the credit they deserve for Afghanistan. We'll just call it that. We'll call it credit, not blame. The generals have gotten it. Biden's got it. Trump's got it. If you're Biden, everybody's pointing fingers. How the intelligence agencies blow with this bad, right? Well, what's their priority, man? What's their priority? Remember Tucker Carlson? I didn't realize he's on. I'm not trying to counter-program Tucker, as if I could. And I just go live and I sort of feel like it. And Tucker Carlson gets unmasked by the NSA. Why is the NSA looking at Tucker Carlson and leaking stuff to Tucker? That's where their heads are, man. It isn't about national security. People think John Wick is real life. People think that Homeland is real life. Oh, these are patriotic Americans who really care about the country. They come from Harvard and Yale, right? Who do you think works for the CIA? You think it's patriotic infantry veterans? No. It's college kids who go to these the pipeline is the woke universities where if they didn't already hate America, then they hate it. They go work for the CIA. They have to meet all these diversity quotients. So you saw those CIA videos where a guy's like, oh, I'm a librarian and I have games. Did you see that, by the way? I don't like making fun of people. General Mills, I do. Like really high-level, powerful people I like to make fun of. I don't like to make fun of people, though, who are not high-level, powerful. So I feel bad doing this. So I'll just put it this way. In a video the CIA posted, the librarian was like, oh, wow, Brennan wore a rainbow flag during my swearing-in ceremony, and I felt so welcome. And now if you come to the CIA library, you can play games. Literally. So I'm not going to make fun of the guy. People have tough lives. People have enough shit to deal with. Whatever. All love to this guy. That's not where the priority should be, though. Right? That's not where the priority should be. Is Brennan wore a rainbow flag to my swearing-in ceremony. You know what your job is, dude? Your job is to know the truth about terrorism. Your job is to make sure Afghanistan withdrawal doesn't look like this. Your job is to make sure we don't have debacles like we had this weekend. That's your job, bro. Sorry, if you feel like in the small town you grew up in, they weren't tolerant enough. Like, I get it, man. Totally understand, dude. You're at the CIA. Your job isn't a rainbow flag. Your job is there are people who want to do evil to this country, and you need to not let that happen. And you need to be a little bit tougher and have a little bit more fortitude and have a little bit more swag and worry less about whether there's a group within the CIA and we play soccer together. Right? That's where their heads are. We're playing soccer. Right? It's like, okay, man, you're playing soccer. Good for you, I guess. Good for you. You're the NSA. You're spying on Tucker. Going on TV. Oh, I want to talk another thing, too, about 4D chess. 4D chess and the Afghanistan withdrawal. So here's a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are going, well, the debacle in Afghanistan is really 4D chess because it's going to lead to American casualties, and therefore that'll require the U.S. to bring in more troops. That's the conspiracy theory. That really is a conspiracy theory. So here's my question. Right? So here's my question. What is it about John Brennan, who was the director of the CIA, or General Mills, who just threw a temper tantrum in Congress because he wants to teach critical race theory at West Point? What is it about these men who are at the highest echelons of the intelligence and military establishment? What is it about these men that make you think, oh, they're really planning ahead? They're like playing 4D chess here on us. What is it about them? Just use your own God-given intelligence and your own God-given common sense. If you have an IQ above room temperature, there's nothing about these people that make you think they're playing 4D chess. This is just how bad they are. This is how incompetent they are. The conspiracy theory is that these are 4D chess masters that are engaging us into Afghanistan through all of these moves. No, they're incompetent. They're idiots. They're buffoons. They're focused on playing board games in the CIA room. They're focused on spying on Americans. They're focused on unmasking Tucker Carlson. They're focused on indicting members of the Trump administration. A recent guy, right? How many indictments of Trump people have happened since Trump left office? That's where their heads are. And they're playing a dangerous game because what do they think the terrorists are looking at? The terrorists are saying, oh, wow, so you're going to go after Americans. Are they going to see an opportunity knowing that the intelligence community is focused on hunting down MAGA memas for taking a selfie in the Capitol? Right? That's where it is. There's no 4D chess. Hate to tell you, but it's true. Thanks for watching Mike Cernovich. If you're watching anywhere but Rockfin, go to rokfin.com/Cernovich. rokfin.com/Cernovich. Watch me there.